My topic is remittance-led development. So why does this matter? Historical processes such as colonialism and international exploitation have resulted in uneven development on an international scale. High-income countries have benefited immensely from the underdevelopment of low-income countries, first through colonization and now through the exploitation of low wages and the production of cheap primary goods in low-income countries. Today, most developed countries achieve their status by engaging in protectionist policies. Having already established industries and existing technologies and capabilities gives them a competitive edge in global trade. That strategy has been taken away from low-income countries through the promotion of free trade and neoliberal values. Do as I say, not as I do. If less developed countries cannot take the same route as already developed countries, what are they to do? Is there any options for them? How can they overcome the existing international order? In a world that is ridden with financialization, it is important to look at the role of financial flows in the context of development. This is a fact one cannot ignore. However, I was not super keen on going down this route. This is mostly because I wanted to shift a focus towards the agency of low-income countries and away from a Western-centric approach that looks at official developmental aid, FDI, and international institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank. One unique international flow that has developmental potential outside of Western control is remittances. So these are the actions of relatively poor people for the most part. This is an interesting approach to me because usually we think of development in a context that is out of the control of non-affluent people. This is money that goes directly to individuals, providing direct relief to those who need it. This means there is no bureaucratic process of governmental dependency for redistribution. This could be an interesting possibility for governments with weaker institutions and can directly alleviate poverty. Remittances make up a large percentage of GDP in some countries. In Haiti and Tonga, this is 40%. These are notable because they are a accumulation of a bunch of small transactions that create large, influential global financial flows. These have equated to be around $554 billion in 2019. This number, however, is estimated to be a lot larger because of unofficial remittances. So what does the scholarly literature have to say about it? There's no consensus on the impact of remittances on development. Some say they foster it, while others say they hinder it. A lack of consensus on remittance-led development piqued my interest, speaking to the complexity of the issue. So there is a rich literature on this subject. However, most is focused on theoretical or quantitative approaches. To my knowledge, there is a lack of literature that takes a political economy approach to understanding remittances and development. So, different determinants. In order to do my analysis, I want to look at different spheres that include the economic, political, and social cultural. Most literature focuses on the economic factor. This is the forefront of most of it. So this includes micro versus macroeconomic structures, production and labor productivity, employment, GDP, and investment opportunity. In the political realm, it is important to note that political structures are needed to facilitate the economic. So this includes redistribution policies, level of corruption, reliability of the government and its institutions, governmental support, trade policy, industrial programs, local laws, including minimum wage and employee supports. Social and cultural determinants are a huge issue that has to be addressed. So these are the basis of consumption. These are the basis of the nature of work that people do. Family ties are important, gender equality, and the history of the nation. Of course, all these lists are inclusive, but they are not exhaustive. And this brings me to my final research question. I'm wanting to do this with case studies or study. I'm just unsure of the location yet. But what I'm going to explore is under what social, political, and economic contexts do remittances spur development, and under what context hinder development.